Okay, so we got to get in the topic of the week, man. The so-called war in Iran.
War ready.
Trump done dropped the bomb.
You dropped the bomb on me.
Trump done dropped the bomb. So what y'all need to know about the U.S.'s military intervention in the Israeli-Iranian war. Now, there's a lot of rabbit holes to dive down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracies to dive down. Let's stick to what they're reporting to be facts, and then we can dive down those. So the United States inserted itself into Israel's war against Iran, bombing 3 of the Islamic Republic's key nuclear sites overnight in an attack dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer. Who be coming with these names? Midnight Hammer is crazy. That's some shit I'll text a bitch. Like, bitch, I'm finna come drop this Midnight Hammer on your ass. Nigga off that honey pack finna drop it in. Finna drop it off in them drawers. So U.S. President Donald Trump asserted that the sites were completely and fully obliterated and warned that there will be additional strikes if Iran retaliates. So did you see pictures of the sites where the bombs dropped? Them big ass.
Before and after.
Yeah, did you see the before and afters?
Yeah.
And they said Iran did not fire a single shot back. So all of their defense system that was supposed to detect the aircrafts, they did not detect nothing because the bomber jets that they sent through were basically completely silent. Like they didn't trigger none of the alarm. They didn't trigger nothing. They came through, dropped the bombs, and got on. And this was one of the largest, most effective bombings in U.S. history. I guess we've been trying to get rid of these nuclear sites for a few presidents now. None of them have done it. Trump was the only one to have the cojones to pretty much do it.
I ain't surprised, though. We knew Trump was going to press buttons any chance he got. So he did what he did. And like I told y'all that last episode, niggas ain't fucking with the U.S. Niggas thought it was a game out here.
No, you did call it.
Yeah.
You called it. So the Israeli strikes began on June 13th, targeting Iranian military and nuclear sites. They killed several top military officials and nuclear scientists. So, man, we not playing right now. Now, the reasoning, if you're not knowing why this happened, is they claim that they have an abundance of enriched uranium. And the only reason you would need enriched uranium is to create nuclear weapons, right? Nuclear warheads, nuclear bombs. And they're basically saying, why do you have this amount of your enriched uranium? What y'all over there trying to concoct and what y'all trying to do? So, they negotiate back and forth. Hey, man, this is, what was the language that they used? They tried to say it was for, I forget what Iran said. Basically, they tried to allude that it was for some type of work, but we're looking like, nah, this is only used pretty much to make nuclear weapons. So for them not basically giving it up, the U.S. decided, okay, we're going to play chess. We're going to think 3 moves ahead before we allow them to get enough weaponry to possibly take us off the map. We just going to bomb them and just eliminate it. So do you think that was a good move or a bad move?
So right now, I think it was a necessary move for the U.S. because from what I'm reading, Iran and Russia actually have a close ally. So it's kind of like Israel's like, look, we need our big brother, or just call my brother, into the fade. And so at this point now, we're just kind of suspecting what Russia's going to do next. Because at this point now, it seems like who's got the bigger gun. I think it's going to be a key, too, where it's going to create fear amongst the American people, kind of like how COVID did. We're going to put like fear into the public. They don't want you traveling. They go spike up the gas prices because we all know once it's come to war, we got to start engineering and producing things overseas so it can go over there for the military. So everything's about to go up and it's not going to be any public help. It's going to be taxing on the people here. But as far as a country-wise, I mean, we just basically show that this is what we normally do. We kicking ass, taking names as a country. As
U.S. just be bullying niggas at this point. Yeah. That's all we is. Niggas just want to bully for whatever profit or anything. It got to be something. It's about some money.
You got oil over there. There's a gang of oil over there in Iran.
Okay, so what they're saying is uranium is allowed to be enriched at about 3.67%. They had uranium enriched at 60%. And I guess once you reach about 90%, that's when you get to the nuclear level. So they going, whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing at 60%? And you got there hella fast. Yeah. So that means y'all are building it up. So y'all for sure over there trying to build some weapons. That is the story. But if you know Iran, I believe they're sitting on the one of the largest piles of oil in the world.
Mm-hmm.
one of the largest piles of oil in the world. So it's like, was it for that, or did y'all want to get access?
Nah, this
you know what I'm saying? Because it's a money play for sure.
This just an excuse, and it could be something deeper. We see some for them to say that we don't want no problems and no smoke and no shit like that. Then y'all go, well, after they bombed them, it's like now if something does happen here, that's just a real reason for the U.S. just to go really demolish their shit and take the oil and stuff. So ain't no telling. We'll see how it play out.
It's to make the Middle East a little more white too, as well. I mean, you got the Israel, the quote Jews, holding down it. The Gaza Strip and all that. They want it where we can control more of the power over there, so we can have more presence in the Middle East. At the end of the day, once you start putting more, because they don't want to call it a regime change. That's what they're trying to avoid saying. But again, that's what they're trying to do. At the end of the day, we're trying to have more power in the Middle East as far as us as a country.
Okay, and the bombs that they used were, I believe, the largest ever used, and they're called bunker busting bombs. These bombs literally can dig underground. They can penetrate and up to 60 meters of concrete. So just imagine 60 meters of concrete. So you can't hide down in them emergency bunkers because they got bunker busting bombs that's gonna literally dig down, find that bunker, and blow your ass to smithereens. Like, bro, they got weapons that's unfathomable. So if they got bunker busting bombs, they probably had this decades ago.
Exactly. Ain't no
decades ago. Because
huh?
whatever they released to the public, for sure, they at least 100, 200 years in advance. So just imagine the type of weapons that they got. We're not even talking about the vibrational type of weapons they got. We're not talking about the motherfucking lasers they can send from the. We ain't even gonna go down the rabbit holes right now. But the bunker busting bombs, serious business.
Yeah. On that note, and the fact of the matter is, what the allies are going to do now. Again, we still got to check out for Russia as well, because again, that's where the fear is coming in at. Because if they're aligning themselves with Iran, and that's one of our biggest rivalries, what's going to happen next? And this is where I feel like this is a play, or even content at this point. It's to, for real, to install the fear in the people, bro. It's gonna create fear amongst us, mom, nigga. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like a worse version of COVID. Everybody gonna run to the store, grab toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? All the supplies, dry food. They go try to scare you to spend this money, and nothing's gonna happen.
Why do all that if you worried about a war? If a war gonna happen, there's really nothing you could do. You better pray to God, praise to the Most High, and you take it how it comes. Because ain't really nothing you could do. You could be walking down the street and this shit just land.
I'm saying that because if you instill fear, people don't spend money. They hold on to it, right? But if you're saying, hey, stack up on supplies and stuff like that, that's still gonna keep the economy going.
No, I know, but what's the purpose of if they say tomorrow, hey, we finna go to war, what you stacking up on supplies for?
Because they think they're gonna be able to survive through the bomb.
They need you in constant state of fear because you're easier to control. That's just what it is. They use different methods, but ultimately they want you to be in a constant state of fear 365 days out of the year. So when they give you instructions on how to keep yourself safe, you're gonna blindly follow due to you being paralyzed by the fear. Now, these bunker busting bombs weighed a whopping 30,000 pounds. Like, these motherfuckers ain't no joke, boy. They got some weaponry that's unmatched. Y'all keep talking about China this and Russia that. Yeah, the U.S. putting belt to ass. They not playing with nobody. That's just what it is. And a lot of people do got to look at this, even though they are playing chess. Never forget that you Americans still at the end of the day. So when you got them over there saying that, we going to retaliate, and every American citizen is a possible target of ours, then you got to pick a side. It's like, which side you want? You could be humanitarian and all for that, but if you going to be a casualty of war, I mean, hey, you might got to boot up as an American and get the shit, you know what I'm saying? But there was breaking news today. I believe that they basically turned it down.
Yeah, they're saying it's a ceasefire right now. They're saying it's a ceasefire between Iran and Israel.
So let me pull the article up because they seen the damage those bunker busting bombs did, and they basically waving the white flag.
Yeah, because they killed off their nuclears. They're gonna wait to build them back up.
But what they were saying was a lot of the enemies of the U.S. are already offering them assistance. Like, hey, y'all need some help? We got some switches over here. We got some nukes over here. What y'all need? The same way you be on the block, the ops might come through, tear you up, And then your allies might be like, damn, you know, well, shit, you can come grab a crate, you feel me?
Yeah.
Till y'all
To
get back
load
on
up.
y'all feet and then throw it back
Circle
to
But
it.
back.
like Show just said, like it's content. How do we know all this information? Why do we know all this information? And you talking about an ally, you want them to know that you want the US to know that you giving them weapons to go against us. Like, what sense does that even make? Like, how are they corresponding to the point where we know everything that every move they making? So it's that shit wild at the end of the day.
Well, as far as the Russia aspect, it's gonna create that, like I said, that sense of fear. And once you start creating the fear, then that make America people easier to control. Again, since we started talking about this, we ain't tripping on the ICE raid that's going on out here and how they still treating them. You know what I mean? All this shit is like a distraction. It's gonna be
That
hot
was
for exactly.
That shit died down so fast. It's
Well,
crazy.
no, ICE is still popping though.
I'm not saying it ain't.
Nah,
I'm just
Short
talking
was
about.
spitting just now. 'Cause
Nah, he was. I'm just saying the stuff out here that we was seeing every day on a day-to-day basis is over with.
and
Like,
that's what I mean by
niggas just
rage
tapped
bait
out.
news.
Yeah,
Whatever they put on the
exactly.
news, that's what you're raged by. Just 2 days ago, y'all was going crazy in the streets, rioting about ICE. Now, 2 days later, y'all are scared to leave the house. I'm seeing, I'm canceling my flight plans. I'm not going to no concerts. I'm not going to no large gatherings. But about 30 minutes ago, Donald Trump says it has been fully agreed on by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. So he posted that on social media, which took his own team by surprise because apparently they didn't get the notice. So I don't know. Are they playing internet games? Because how your own team don't notice and they find out via Twitter. Remember we was talking about them using Twitter now to update the world. They're not going to the news outlets like they used to. Breaking news, CNN. No, you just follow Trump on Twitter and, oh, shit,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Where his own team is like, hold on, what you mean, Mr. President?
Yeah.
It's a ceasefire? So I don't know. Because they say as of now, there is no agreement on any ceasefire or cessation of military operations. So it's like Trump saying one thing and then the opposite end of the spectrum, they saying something else.
That's what I'm
They say,
basically getting at.
however, provided that the Israeli regime stops its illegal aggression against the Iranian people no later than 4 a.m. Taharian time, we have no intention to continue our response after.
we never really actually know what's really going on. We just go based off of the information they give us, and that's just another form of, like what you just said, of the control thing. Because by Trump saying that, he basically making people look at him like, I handle business. Y'all ain't got nothing to really worry about. We good. I made them niggas tap out, but we don't really know who get bombed and just be like, okay, cool, it's over. Like, nigga, they gonna be still having something else up their sleeve at some point, you would think.
Because Israel has not confirmed any ceasefire within the 3 hours of President Trump's announcement. And they said there were fresh attacks from Israel against Iran, raising questions about whether all parties had agreed to it. So they basically put it in your face like, this is one big concocted plan. And this one thing about the media, if you ever notice when this type of stuff is going on, they leave the public confused. They give conflicting stories every minute on the hour. On one hand, you say Trump said it's a ceasefire. On the other hand, Israel ain't confirmed shit. So now you leave the people like, well, is it ceasefire?
Yeah.
Is it not? And they do this purposely, constantly, depending on the outlet, which via Elon Musk and the USAID, you found out that the people who control the strings, pull the strings, the puppet masters, were funding both sides of the media. So they're paying to get opposite ends of the spectrum reported. So now, like bro said, you left spinning in the circle in the middle and you never really know the truth unless you done took the red pill and you could travel down these rabbit holes to figure out, oh, they chasing the dollar bag at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah, because why would you why do us as America need a million news sources? You don't need Fox, ABC, all that
NBC,
stuff.
yeah.
Just to give you the same source. Now I understand if you have one from state to state, but out where you at, why do we need a million of them? CNN, all this other stuff, and everybody got something different to say. When if you can get the direct stuff from the government, they can get the information that they want to put out, because everything for the news is just somebody telling them what to say in their ear anyway, for the most part, besides the opinions that people give. So all that stuff is just, like you said, propaganda to keep people twisted. The same way we seen the news outlets where they got the clip of everybody on every news channel saying the exact same speech. Like, that was crazy. So if you still watching news, it's fake news, man. They put in there what they want you to know. They're never giving you the real information.
All I'm saying is, it look crazy when it looks like all of our leading officials, whenever they go over to Israel, they bound down to the powers to be over there, when you would think it would be the opposite. So if you watch, damn, I forget the dude's name. He made a speech about 20 years ago where he predicted everything that's going on now. And everybody said he was crazy and out of his mind. And he said, Israel's controlling the U.S., allegedly. And what they got to do is they got to cripple the U.S. economy. So we got to eliminate the U.S. dollar. We got to basically make the paperwork,
which is
nothing.
BRICS now.
Then you got the BRICS come in, and then we pushing for the digital money. They're trying to take the power out of the people. We want the physical money gone, not worth nothing. We want to be able to control the U.S. dollar with these buttons. Then after that, the only way to get away with what we're doing is to cause a war, a real big ass distraction. So everybody looking over here, and then we behind the curtain over here pulling the strings and making everything happen. When the smoke clear over here, by the time they turn around, it's too late. 20 years ago, they called this man crazy. Right now, we seeing everything he said play out in real time. So right now, we're in the stages of World War III, where, oh shit, we finna go to war.
Do y'all think these people really be predicting stuff, or these be like still propaganda things? The same way people still believe in The Simpsons is motherfucker just knowing everything from the future.
I believe
all that is put in The Simpsons and stuff like that. I believe on purpose, regardless of what people think when it's coming out now. Even though the episodes, yes, they was old, but they already knew this was the plans at B that they would have in rotation, and for you to go back and see stuff like that.
2 letters, PP, predictive programming. They tell you in advance to numb your mind, so when it really happens, you're kind of ready for it. They put glimpses of the images on TV, like you said, The Simpsons. They make it happen already. So you'll sit here and watch a Leave the World Behind, and everything that's finna happen, you're gonna watch on the TV. So when it happens, you go, oh shit, I saw that in the movie. But really, they're dumbing you down. It's like when you first used to watch Gore.com. You probably could barely watch that first video.
Now
you sitting there eating your cereal, watching fucking cartels chop heads off and pull intestines out. It's like you become numb to it after a fact.
The shock value has dropped at that point. Damn. Made me forget my point. Y'all was cooking too.
Listen, it's
you was about the profit. I was gonna say, my bad, not to cut you off. I believe that there can be human prophets on this earth still. Some people just are ahead of their time, and they'll probably get mimicked. And then once they realize they were right, then we'll tend to give them credit. I do believe there are certain prophets walking amongst us. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not following their lead. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like if you want to talk about Jesus or anything like that. You know, you're going to have people that doubt you, but it's the ones that you choose to listen to and understand and do your homework as well. Then that's when you kind of take on what you want to listen to.
Because a lot of people will say it's a prophet, but then to me, I just believe it's people who are paying attention and following patterns. Because if you look at the patterns, it's typically the same play, just over and over again. It's like if it's not fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you paying close attention to moves being made and you're not being swayed emotionally and you're not being crippled by the fear of media propaganda, you can low-key predict the plays because it's already happened in history before.
It repeats itself.
It's nothing new under the sun. So I believe that's what a lot of people are doing. They're seeing certain moves be made and they're recognizing the patterns, and then they're able to call the play. It ain't no difference than Ed Reed sitting back in the secondary watching Peyton Manning. He done studied 3,000 hours of tape and go, man, I've seen this before. Hey, audible. He finna throw the ball over here. I don't give a fuck how much he pump fake over here. It's coming over here.
Yeah. And then he get that pick six.
And he get that pick six. So I believe that's what a lot of the prophets be doing.
Yeah, that can be a good one. History typically does repeat itself. A lot of the cycles that we're kind of going through, it's kind of happening now. You know what I'm saying? The wars of power are kind of lining themselves up to kind of have an ally. So it just depends on what side of the history you go be on.
Y'all better take that red pill and wake the fuck up. That's all I'm going to say. Wake the fuck up. Because right now is right now. It's going on. Right now is one of the most important times in your lifetime and in your kids' lifetime. There's a lot of changes coming. They're coming drastically. And the decisions you make today is definitely going to affect the outcome of you and your family's life tomorrow.